What if the person you trusted to protect a child believed she could hide everything until one detective uncovered a single secret and the whole lie collapsed? That's exactly what prosecutors assert happened in the case of 12-year-old Jacqueline Mimi Garcia, her mother, Karla Garcia, and others in Connecticut. What happened behind closed doors while the world assumed Mimi was safe? Why did the authorities think she was homeschooled and out of state when, they say, she was already deceased? And how did one investigation reveal a shocking betrayal that no one saw coming? It begins with the rising action. In mid-2024, Mimi attended public school in New Britain, Connecticut. A few months later, her mother wrote to school officials saying Mimi would be homeschooled because the family was moving. The homeschooling notice coincided with a move to Farmington, and then all signs of Mimi's presence faded. At a glance, it looked benign: a child removed from school, a family relocating. But what no one expected was that this move masked something far darker. Here's where everything changed. By January 2025, the state's child welfare agency, the Connecticut Department of Children and Families, received a referral about a younger sibling. They requested a video call check-in with Mimi. The mother arranged it. Someone appeared on screen, claimed to be Mimi, said she was homeschooled out of state. DCF closed the file a few months later. But that call was part of the deception. Mimi, authorities say, was already dead by then. In the meantime, the investigation that would unravel the scheme was quietly forming. On October 8, 2025, police responded to a tip. A tote had been transported by the mother's boyfriend, then dumped at a boarded-up house on Clark Street in New Britain. Inside it, the remains of Mimi. Investigators believe Mimi died in the fall of 2024, likely around September 19th, according to a search warrant quoting Karla Garcia. Let's step back to the crime. What happened to Mimi? According to court documents and police warrants, Karla Garcia admitted that she and her boyfriend, Jonatan Nanita, withheld food from Mimi for weeks before her death. She was reportedly restrained in zip ties, confined to a corner on pee pads, and denied nutrition as punishment when she acted bad. After her death, the body was allegedly stored in the basement of the family's Farmington residence until the odor forced them out. Then, when the family moved back to New Britain in March 2025, the body was transported and dumped behind the abandoned home. Investigation proceeds. Police filed search warrants, phone records, cell site data, move-in, move-out logs. They discovered communications between Karla Garcia and her sister, Jackelyn Garcia, which included a photograph of Mimi zip-tied, lying on a pee pad. The sister admitted to witnessing the abuse and told investigators she knew Jacqueline was going to die. The autopsy found no recent trauma, but extreme malnutrition. The cause of death remained officially under investigation. Arrest and charges followed swiftly. Karla Garcia and Jonatan Nanita were charged with murder with special circumstances, conspiracy to commit murder, intentional cruelty to a child under 19, and improper disposal of a body. Bail for Garcia and Nanita was set at $5 million each. Jacqueline Garcia was charged with intentional cruelty, unlawful restraint, and risk of injury to a minor, held on $1 million bond. Pre-trial drama. The courtroom was heavy with emotion as the judge read the charges. Media coverage highlighted the homeschooling angle, the DCF video call deception, and questions of how a missing 11-year-old was undetected for so long. Family dynamics emerged. The siblings removed, the mother with other young children, the aunt with prior convictions for child endangerment, all creating a backdrop of layers of risk. Trial opening will drill down into prosecution versus defense. The prosecution's strategy: show a timeline of abuse, food deprivation, confinement, zip ties, and concealment of death. Show the body dump tip, the tote, the video call deception, and tie these events together to demonstrate the family's scheme to hide the child's death and avoid detection. The defense, however, will likely argue lack of proof of direct murder, ambiguity of cause, and possibly contest the timeline or treatment. Trial is ongoing, details may evolve. Key evidence includes the photo of the child restrained, the tip about the tote, autopsy confirming malnutrition, cell phone data showing movement of the tote, DCF records showing homeschooling notice and video call, prior abuse history of the aunt, custody records showing Karla Garcia was granted sole custody in June 2024. Each reveal adds to the tension. The family believed they had fooled the world with the homeschooling claim. Authority, police DCF, began to expose the scheme. Then the shocking consequence. The body found, charges filed. Witness testimonies will intensify the drama. Neighbors reporting awful odor coming from upstairs apartment. The aunt testifying about seeing Mimi in pain. DCF staff explaining how the video call misled them. Forensic experts describing the child's condition. The detective detailing the tip leading to the abandoned property. Cross-examinations may probe credibility, prior convictions, motives, and memory of witnesses. Emotional appeals in closing arguments will emphasize Mimi's life and suffering, the betrayal of trust, and the need for accountability. Verdict and sentencing. At the time of writing, the defendants have been charged but not yet convicted. The case remains active. That means potential sentencing will depend on trial outcome. However, the bail amounts and charges reflect seriousness. Murder with special circumstances is among the harshest charges in Connecticut. The consequence for the accused is enormous. If convicted, lifetime in prison is possible. The final twist. Not only did Karla Garcia allegedly believe she could hide Mimi's death from the world, but the system she manipulated, including the DCF's video call check and homeschooling notice, unwittingly aided the deception. What seemed like legitimate family actions masked a horrific abuse scheme. The judge, in setting high bail and recognizing the scope of the cruelty, effectively said, "The lie collapsed." The authority exposed the scheme. The consequence, criminal accountability. This case wasn't just about one child's death. It revealed how layers of trust, system oversight, and family law can be exploited. It showed how even a video call from a child welfare agency can be manipulated. It raised bigger questions about homeschooling regulation, mandated reporters, and when a child suddenly disappears from school. Do you think justice will truly be served here? What moment shocked you the most? The homeschooling claim, the video call deception, the zip ties, or the body in the tote? Please leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this story compelling, click like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the full trial coverage when verdicts come in. All information in this video is sourced from publicly available court records and reputable news outlets. This video is for educational and documentary purposes only.